is one of the legendary franchises of video gaming, one of the foundational texts of the video game canon. While far from the first first-person shooter, upon its release in 1993 it codified an entire genre. Smooth, slick, speedy gameplay, cathartic violence, and grotesque creature design made it a huge hit with audiences, and along with peers such as Mortal Kombat, the subject of US congressional hearings about the dangers of violent video games. Its success made its creators rock stars of the video game industry, and Doom and its sequel would go on to be ported to pretty much everything with a screen. I first played Doom on my Sega Saturn, and that I managed to fall in love with the game despite playing one of the worst versions of it. I think that says a lot about how compelling Doom is. I've still got multiple versions of the game. The original PC version, PlayStation 1 port, live arcade release on 360, the classic complete collection on PS3, and I've got a RetroArch capable Wii U and 3DS, so if I really wanted to I could get it running on those as well. Doom's influence is still being felt to this day, but unlike a lot of influential franchises, its installments have been much more sparse. Doom 64 was a direct sequel to Doom 2, but remained an N64 exclusive until its re-release on Switch in 2019. Doom 3 was released in 2004, not as a sequel but a reboot, which slowed the pace and had more of a survival horror feel. Doom 4 had been known to be in development since 2008, but it would be a long and arduous journey to get to the game that was released in 2016. It's a story that's told in great detail in NoClip's brilliant documentary, but in short, the development of the original Doom 4 was scrapped and started from scratch in around 2011. The original version of the project was a scripted, story-heavy, military shooter, kind of like a Call of Duty but with sci-fi horror trappings, and the development team knew that that wasn't going to go down well with the game's intended audience. So they moved over resources to the development of the game, which came out in 2016. Despite promising trailers and early gameplay footage, most of the pre-release marketing buzz, the alpha and beta tests, were focused on the pretty forgettable multiplayer mode, and that's the last time we're going to mention it in this video. Now, it was also a victim of Bethesda's then new policy that they were no longer going to send out pre-release copies of the games to media outlets for review prior to release, so people kind of wrote it off. But then it came out, people got their hands on it, and word of mouth started to spread like wildfire that this was something of a return to form for a long dormant franchise. Narratively, Doom 2016 is deceptively simple. Your character awakens in a sarcophagus, violently reclaims their armour, and proceeds to slaughter their way across Mars to hell and back to repel the invading horde of demons. That's kind of it. Well, okay, that's not quite it. You are the Doom Slayer, an ancient enemy of hell sealed away by them, revived by Dr. Samuel Hayden of the Union Aerospace Corporation to battle a demonic invasion. The UAC have been using Argent energy siphoned from hell to solve humanity's energy crisis. This has, of course, backfired, with senior scientist Olivia Pierce going rogue and opening a portal to hell, allowing demons through to slaughter or possess the staff of the entire UAC Mars facility and gain a foothold in our dimension in exchange for power beyond imagining. So, Doomslayer, beat back the hordes, chase them to hell, close the portal, and save humanity. Rip and tear until it is done. Doom's story is not as disposable as you might think when dealing with a game like this, and we're going to talk about why it's so great very soon. However, at the core of what makes this game such a compelling experience is its gameplay. Even on console, the game hits a silky smooth 60 FPS, although I can only capture in 30 FPS, so that won't quite be communicated in this video. And that gives it a fluidity that is vital to maintaining its sense of speed and momentum. Doom is all about momentum, in stark contrast to the way shooters have developed over the past decade. Games like your Gears of War, your Call of Duties, they've slowed the gameplay loop, emphasising cover and positioning, managing your ammo clip by clip, limiting your arsenal and your manoeuvrability. Doom throws all that away and returns to a much more stripped down feel consistent with that of its classic predecessors. You have to keep moving, and you have to keep shooting all the time, like a shark with a rocket launcher, or you will die. Combat encounters take place in areas where hiding is often impossible by design, and enemies will exploit this. Nimble imps and summoners dart around the map, flanking you and pelting you with hellfire. Pinkies will charge you down as soon as you're in line of sight, and Lost Souls will do the same from the air. Cacodemons will force you into cover with Plasma Blast, then close in and gnaw your head off, while Hell Knights will force you into the open by chasing you down with huge leaps. Nowhere is safe, and so your only option is to keep slaughtering the hordes. Thankfully, you have a sizable arsenal alongside your strength and speed, with which to do so. All the classic Doom weapons are here, with a couple of new additions and twists. They feel incredibly satisfying to wield, and you'll be switching between them constantly to vary tactics and stay alive. There's no reloading to slow you down, although there is a modern edition with the weapon mod system. Streamlined enough to not bog you down, but flexible enough to add variety and flavour, most weapons, excepting the basic pistol, the super shotgun, and the iconic BFG 9000, have two unlockable alternate fire modes. Once unlocked, they can be switched on the fly and enhanced further with upgrade points. Some are small tweaks, like giving your chain gun either more speed or more barrels, while some can change the feel of a weapon hugely, like giving the shotgun a 3-round burst for close-range carnage, or an explosive lob shot for mid to long-range murder. It's a simple but very effective system, adding to combat without bogging you down in complex menus and progression systems. Like everything in the game, it's tuned to push you forward and try new things, like the other modern systems added to the classic feel of the gameplay. You can also upgrade your armour with passive abilities, increase your health, armour and ammo capacity, and add demonic runes to give you bonuses to your skills. None of these systems, however, are strictly speaking essential, and the game certainly never tries to force you down a certain road or punish you for trying new approaches. If anything, it encourages you to try new things in your quest to perfect its beautifully simple gameplay loop. Move, kill, repeat. And none of the mechanics embody this more than the glory kill. Since you're constantly under assault when in combat, you will rarely be unscathed, and in keeping with the classic style, your health doesn't regenerate, so you need to keep it topped up somehow. Damage an enemy enough and they'll be stunned, highlighted with the glow, and you can close in for a glory kill. Multiple, brutal animations see you dispatch enemies in all sorts of inventively, and often explosively, gory fashions. Then they'll drop a bunch of health, keep you alive, and you move on. Weapons running dry? Pop out the chainsaw. As long as you have enough fuel for it, you'll saw straight through anything that isn't a boss and be rewarded with a shower of ammunition. The only way to stay alive in this game is to keep killing, and that momentum pushes you through the game's story in a violent, blood-soaked frenzy that truly makes you feel powerful. Combined with the game's subtly layered story and lore, you begin to realise that the demons are nothing to be afraid of. They fear you, and this is where Doom succeeds where so many other games fail, as a truly engaging and satisfying power fantasy.
He wore the crown of the Night Sentinels, and those that tasted the bite of his sword named him the Doomslayer.
In a time where characters in mainstream big-budget video games are defined by the performers who provide their voices and motions, the Doomslayer is a rare silent protagonist, in keeping with the game's classic throwback style. However, unlike the original Doom Marine, who was purely a player avatar, the Doomslayer has bags of personality, but it serves not to enforce a characterization on the player, but rather feed the ongoing power fantasy. You can feel the character's almost uncontrollable rage in the way he interacts with his environment, breaking free from your sarcophagus, killing your first possessed, punching and kicking terminals and obstacles. His limited interaction with other characters, mostly Samuel Hayden, and his reactions to them paint a picture of someone tired of all the bullshit.
Save your ammunition.
You shouldn't have messed with hell, his silent screams. You tried to harness something dangerous out of greed, and all these people died for it. I couldn't save any of them. And now I need to clean up your mess. As video game narratives have become more nuanced, more complex, there is of course the desire to ask questions of morality, to confront the player with the consequences of their actions or choices, and ask, was it worth it? Now, this is as valid and valuable in video games as it is in any other form of media. However, the absence of that moral questioning is one of the greatest strengths of Doom.
You could not have saved them anyway.
But it's not all about crushing skulls and big guns. It's the little details. The way your character looks, how he touches things that make you feel as powerful as you feel in Doom. Even with all this, the game has a morality at its core. It just doesn't question it, nor expect the player to. Of course, all this is reinforced by incredible presentation. The environments are packed with detail, and despite the game's almost singular focus, there's enough variety to keep boredom at bay. Exploration offers rewards and satisfaction, as well as helping to fill out the lore of this world. On top of the feeling of unstoppable power, there's a layer of black comedy, taking shots at corporate culture and capitalism, and providing enough levity to balance the game's darker moments.
Welcome to the UAC. Now 221 accident-free days.
There's a balance here, a beautiful balance that ensures the game takes itself seriously enough to keep you invested, but tip its hat to let you know it's in on the joke as well. Design work is incredible across the board, with creatures that feel fresh whilst being instantly identifiable as modern updates of classic Doom's iconic demon menagerie. Animations are full of character, and it's sharp enough even on console that you can navigate through the breakneck speed chaos and emerge victorious with skill and a touch of luck. Doom looks every bit as good as it plays, and you could make an argument that it sounds even better. Gordon provides a truly awesome soundtrack, mixing layered synths with explosive percussion and blistering guitars in a soundscape that provides the perfect aural backdrop for your quest to bring the hurt to hell. It can switch on a dime from seething, ominous ambience to roaring aggression, matching pace with the frenzied combat and adding even further to the feeling of power the game offers, of feeling feared. It's the angry cherry on top of Doom's furious cake that makes the whole thing feel complete and perfect. Doom came from no expectations and just blew me away. Just talking about it makes me want to play it again, to experience the journey into the bowels of hell and through your enemies once more. It is satisfaction distilled and delivered in the form of a video game. Every bloodied, bone-crunching moment of it. Just play the opening sequence. If you aren't raring to go as the final notes of the title music sync with the shotgun cock and you step out onto the surface of Mars, I can't help you. I can only weep that I can't share with you the joy that this game brings to me. Doom! It's brilliant. I love it, and that's what this series is all about. Are you a Doom fan? Do you despise Doom? Are you looking forward to the imminent release of Doom Eternal? I know I am. Let us know in the comments below, or of course get in touch with us on Twitter at BigDamnCast. Listen out for the Big Damn Cast every Thursday, wherever you get your podcasts from. And if you like what we do and you're in a position to do so, you can support us by visiting patreon.com/BigDamnCast. I'll be back with more Big Damn Love in 2 weeks. And, well, now I'm off to play Doom.
This is not the